He's a simple guy with tons of ambition, but sometimes it might just be a bit too much for him to handle. Oh, and he has a cool dog too, so that's a plus. Hey everyone, welcome to 90s Nostalgia. One of the more unique shows on Nickelodeon, Doug introduced many of us to problems we'd face as we grow up, while taking a creative and humorous spin to it. In this list, we'll be going over the top 10 episodes of Doug, highlighting the ones that spoke to us the most or just stood out overall. If you enjoy this video, make sure to leave a like, subscribe to 90s Nostalgia, and hit the bell icon so you never miss any of our countdowns regarding everything 90s. That being said, let's get started. Number 10. Doug's behind the wheel. After promising Patti that Judy will drive them to a bumper car date, Doug tries to make sure Judy's chances of passing the driving test are reassured by helping her parallel park. The entire time, Doug tries to give her a plethora of scenarios as a means to motivate her to park, but she isn't really in the mood to listen.
Why don't you learn to drive, pal?
Why don't you learn to chill out, Jenny Tomlinson?
Judy!
It was her frustration after learning Doug's motives that she accidentally parallel parks, which seemed to work in everyone's favor. Number 9. Doug's on stage. A pageant that was turned into a musical yet playful skit, Judy's idea of a pageant was something people didn't fully understand until seeing the fun being had on stage. Mr. Bone really doesn't like the idea, so he of course tries to meddle, but to his surprise, turns out people actually enjoy the performance. It just goes to show that being different isn't always a bad thing. Number 8. Doug is Quailman. Not your typical Doug episode, but at the same time, the show is inventive enough where this is considered normal if you ask anyone. Doug takes a persona of Quailman, a superhero counterpart that does what you'd expect. Patti is captured by Cloudzilla, and you can already guess who's coming to save her. It's a tough fight at the start, but he manages to finish off Cloudzilla with his secret move, Quail Eyes. Weird episode, but fun overall. Number 7. Doug's hot ticket. Have you ever won a contest over the phone before? Doug and Skeeter were part of one when trying to win Beats tickets. Skeeter pretty much had it in the bag from the start, knowing every answer without much thought, until the third question came up.
On what Beats album is there a really tiny, little, almost microscopic picture of Chap Lipman after his gallbladder operation?
All seemed like a dead end, until Doug accidentally got the question right.
Do you, Doug?
Beats me.
Beats Me! Yes! Beats Me is the name of the album!
Maybe Doug knew the answer all along, but we'll never know for sure. At least they got the tickets though. Number 6. Doug's Nightmare on Jumbo Street. A parody of Nightmare on Elm Street, Doug and Porkchop are watching a horror film together where the house eats anyone within its reach. Doug tries to warn the protagonist in the film to exit the house, but like every movie, it can't hear anything he says to it. So he does the usual thing and zaps himself into the movie to warn them. It's far too late though, as they're cornered into a guaranteed fatality, up until Porkchop zaps them back to the couch, leaving behind the film's protagonist to deal with the house themselves. Well, Doug didn't want to keep watching the movie anyway, since it's too much for Porkchop to handle. Number 5. Doug, mayor for a day. Making big decisions just needs a bit of calm and collected thinking. Things seemed grim for the ice cream factory, and the mayor wasn't really able to help much with anything under so much pressure. But when everything was crashing down, it was Doug who answered the call to help Mr. Swirly and made the decision himself.
Well, why don't you let the chips hit the fan?
But then, that would... That's brilliant!
This in turn saved the factory, allowing everyone to have ice cream on Student Government Day. Maybe Doug should be elected as mayor if you really think about it. Number 4. Doug pumps up. Stressing over our body image is something many of us have dealt with as we got older. In this episode, Doug tries to find an easy and time-effective way to build muscle and be strong enough for the upcoming fitness test. Easier said than done though, as this proves to be nearly impossible to do within the time frame Doug is hoping for, as he tries to push himself to take drastic routes towards his goal without taking it slow.
Here, let me show you. See, the important thing is not to strain yourself.
He soon learns that there is no shortcut to working out, since it requires a gradual build rather than an instantaneous one. Number 3. Doug out in left field. On some occasions, it's sad to say there's moments where you aren't given a chance to prove yourself based on your appearance alone. The same can be said when Doug and a few others were all denied by the baseball coach just because they didn't appear fit for the team. The coach was clearly proved wrong though, as a masked Patti tries for the team and even gets accepted, though is then rejected once she reveals she's a girl.
Not my team.
Why not? I just showed you I can do it.
Doesn't matter. This is a man's team.
Now, hit the showers.
Bothered by how unfair the requirements are, all rejects decided to form their own baseball team and challenge the coach's team in the field. It should be about having fun, not the way you look. Number 2, Doug and the Weird Kids. During a hangout session with the Sleech brothers, it was getting a bit late, which meant their infamous Mr. Sleech was getting home. He was made out to be some mad scientist in everyone's minds, but as it turns out, he's just a guy that loves making donuts. His 2 sons just didn't feel it was as cool as being a mad scientist, so they kinda stretched the truth a bit. If you ask any of us, making donuts is always a treat for everyone, so no complaints there. Number 1, Doug and Patti sitting in a tree. We'll admit, this one tugged on our heartstrings just a bit, since Doug and Patti really do make a nice pair. The entire time though, Doug is wondering to himself if the entire night they spent together was a date at all. He was slowly more and more convinced Patti didn't have the intentions he thought she did. Unbeknownst to either of them, however, the more they stopped thinking too hard about it, the more natural their conversations were, allowing them to easily talk and have fun, all while accidentally having a few tense moments together.
Yeah, that was great. Or how about the time when the guy grabs her arm and she... Oops.
At the end of the day, it's obvious they do like each other, but you can't rush into love, which they both know pretty well. And those were 10 episodes of Doug. Did you enjoy our list? Which Doug episodes were your favorite? Let us know in the comments below, and be sure to subscribe to 90s Nostalgia so you can stay up to date with our wide array of countdowns regarding everything 90s. That's all for now. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you all next time.